Today, we're taking you to the Boreal Wetland Center, just south of Grand Prairie, Alberta, with the research scientist Jaime Pinzon. He's looking into how a technique called soil mounding might help restore areas that have been disturbed by the construction of seismic lines used for oil and gas exploration. This is a technique where peat is dug with an excavator to create inverted mounds where tree seedlings are planted. This treatment aims to promote forest regeneration and contribute to restoring peatland ecosystems. Ready to see how piling dirt in the forest can help trees grow? Let's join Jaime in the field to find out.
We are at the Boreal Wetland Center, about 10 minutes south of the city of Grand Prairie in Alberta. This is a demonstration area that is managed by Ducks Unlimited Canada, and where we have established a restoration trial to look at mounding on seismic lines. Seismic lines are narrow corridors that are cut through the forest. These are areas where the trees have been cut for the purpose of allowing access to crews and machinery to do oil and gas exploration. The trees are harvested, and these allow for that exploration of the subsoil to determine whether there are oil deposits underneath. So seismic lines were believed to regenerate and recover naturally, but in peatland sites like the site where we are right now, this doesn't happen. The ground is basically a sponge, and this sponge, if you compress it, it will stay compressed and it won't bounce back. These areas are very wet. The seeds can germinate, but they drown. They drown and they can never establish. Mounding is a technique that has been borrowed from the forest industry, with the expectation that by the creation of the mounds, the substrate will be removed away from that shallow water table, allowing the planted seedlings and natural regeneration to establish, survive, and grow. Part of this research that we are conducting at this site is looking at a number of different variables to assess how the site responds to mounding. The plan is to do a long-term monitoring to also start understanding as well how the site recovers following the treatment, and if it recovers, or if not, what alternatives might be there to improve the effectiveness of the treatment. Each of these lines, like the one that you see behind me, had been split into three main sections, where each section has received one of these three levels: large mounds, small mounds, and untreated, so that we can compare the different variables that we are measuring, like soil moisture, soil temperature, soil compaction, the size of the mounds, the growth of and establishment of the seedlings. We are also looking at biodiversity, so the response of understory vegetation and the responses of ground-dwelling arthropods. So we are taking kind of like a multifaceted approach to better understand the ecological response of these areas to the treatment application, to better understand whether we can actually achieve that restoration goal of bringing back a functional forest into these disturbed areas. We are at the monitoring stage, and kind of like providing that baseline information that eventually will be useful down the road as a way to compare how things have changed over longer periods of time. Even though we may not be able to see the end of the project, we still are learning a big deal about restoration, and a big deal about peatland ecology, and a big deal about the impact of these so-called restoration treatments on seismic lines. Spending time here, seeing how the forest changes, how the different species appear and disappear, gives you a lot of information about the results that you are getting from all your statistics and all the scientific aspect of doing research in a site like this.
Jaime is not the only scientist researching tree seedlings at Natural Resources Canada. Click on this video to see how our experts are looking at the effects of warming and drought on several tree species that are native to the Acadian forest region. Make sure you do all the YouTube things, like and subscribe, and keep an eye out for our next video.